Welcome to Video Games Reloaded, and today let's take a look at the Sega Saturn. The Sega Saturn came out in the UK in 1995 and sold over 9.5 million units. Considered by some a failure, but those who really know the Sega Saturn is actually a very loved console. Sega tried to bring the arcade home experience and sadly overcomplicated the Saturn with its complicated architecture. The Sega Saturn seems to have like a cartridge port at the back, but Sega in their ultimate wisdom decided that they were going to just use that for RAM expansion and memory. But as they got used to the hardware they were producing and putting out and putting games on for that format, they got better at them. And this is where probably the Saturn sort of failed, because it wasn't on the market long enough. Pretty much like the Dreamcast. It just wasn't on the market long enough to show what it really could do. And again, that's Sega's fault. They were really tried hard to get this console straight out of the door very quickly in its life, and it's a shame. Now, oddly enough, Saturn was very forward thinking. It was the first to be like Netlink. It had a video CD player in capability in the back for a card. So it was trying to give you big bang for your buck. Unfortunately, I think I would rather have preferred that it had the Mega Drive cartridge in the back and had this backwards compatible like the Multi-Mega, which I will cover in another video. So having said that, let's take a look at some games. So let's start off with, obviously, the first very early game was Alien Trilogy, and I apologise if there's light reflecting back. My games are actually have all protective sleeves on them, bar one or two, so the light shines back on them, unfortunately. So Alien Trilogy is a Doom style game covering the first 3 movies, and it's a great title. It's made by Acclaim. I say early adopter. Unfortunately, password codes, which is annoying. Amok, Athlete King, and Gretty Racing. A very solid race title. It has pop-ups, but the draw distance is far enough not to be too annoying. Bust a Move, Bubble Bubble, Bug 1 and 2. Bug 1 and 2 are 2D, 3D platformers, very early in the Saturn's life, and not bad. I would say Bug 2 is better than Bug 1 and has a higher value as well. Not that the value is important, it's more about the gameplay. And sitting right beside it is Burning Rangers, an absolutely fantastic game. So let's take a look at some gameplay.
Burning.
Noise detected. Reaction on fuel sensor. February chamber fully loaded. Transfer unit setup completed. Good luck.
Distress to all Rangers. The energy core temperature is reaching dangerous levels. Reports confirm that workers are still trapped inside. Rangers report to the emergency staging area for immediate transport. Show and Big, take point and contain the spread of the fire for the rescue team.
Roger.
Tillis and Reed proceed to the control room located underground in basement level number 1.
Roger.
Press the Z button for navigation. I'll guide you. Tillis, get going through that door. The fire is spreading faster than I thought. Tillis, be careful.
I'm here to save you. Hold on!
I'm scared.
Stay calm, you'll be fine. Coordinates set.
Coordinates confirmed. Transport. Transport complete. Here's the first one. Listen for a sound before the explosion, okay, Tillis? You'll be able to go from there.
I'm here to save you. Hold on!
I can't breathe.
Don't talk. Everything will be all right. Coordinates set.
Coordinates confirmed. Transport. Transport complete.
Bomberman. This game can support up to 8+ players with the multi-tap. Croc, made by Argonauts. I believe this is the company that was going to do a port for Nintendo, but fell out with them at some point, so that never happened. And the character then morphed into Croc, as far as I could tell. It's a solid enough game. The problem is the jump physics are terrible on the game. It looks fantastic, but that early 3D. Clockwork Knight 1 and 2. One of my favourite games on the Saturn, a Clockwork Knight series. They really should remake them. I don't think Sega uses their IP particularly well. They're a lovely little platformer game. I think the first one, if I'm not mistaken, was supposed to be a lot longer, but they cut it to make part 1 and part 2. That's the impression I got. So let's take a look.
All you can do is to
Cyber Speedway, a good racing title. Not like Wipeout like many people say. It is not a Wipeout clone. You can shoot in the game, but it's not the main purpose. It's just racing and winning those races as quick as you can. And then you unlock more Terry Pratchett's Discworld is a game my friend absolutely loves. D. It's a part of a 3-part series. The second one being Enemy Zero and the third one being D2, which we'll come to very shortly. Darius, a great game. I used to love this one playing as a kid. I've gone off it now, I don't know why. I did have the first game at one point. Daytona, a very early launch title for the Saturn. Terrible pop-up, hence why they remade it again. Unfortunately though, the car handling wasn't as good, which is a pity, although they improved some things and broke a few others. Duke Nukem 3D, made by Lobotomy, used the engine well on that game. Die Hard Arcade. Here's Doom. This is a great game. If you ever played Doom, it's solid, but this is a poor port. It really is poorly done. Exhumed. This is another Doom clone, but a Metrovania style one, where you have to backtrack to collect things. Also for health, ammunition, and icons and keys. So let's take a look.
During the time of the pharaohs, the city of Karnak was a shining example of civilization that all other nations could only hope to emulate. Today, Karnak lives on, surrounded by the spirits of the past. However, something has gone terribly wrong. Unknown forces have seized the city, and great turmoil is spreading into neighboring lands. World leaders from all parts of the globe have sent forces into the Karnak Valley, but none have returned. The great power of this new empire is quickly crushing the best forces the human world has to offer. The only known information about this crisis came from a Karnak villager found wandering through the desert miles from his home, dazed, dehydrated, and close to death. In his final moments among the living, the villager told horrifying stories of fierce alien creatures that invaded the city, devoured the women and children, and made slaves of the men. Many of the unfortunate victims were skinned alive or brutally dismembered. Others were subjected to unbearable tortures, injected with strange substances, and then mummified while still alive. According to the villager, even the mummified body of the great King Ramses was unearthed and taken away. You have been chosen from a group of the best operatives in the world to infiltrate Karnak and destroy the threatening forces. But as your helicopter nears the Karnak Valley, it is shot down. You barely escape with your life. With no possible contact to the outside world, you begin your adventure, ready to accomplish your mission, praying to return alive.
Zero, which is the set in space and is the second game that goes after D with the same protagonist. Fighting Viper.
Round one. Let the action begin. Go! Hit! Hit! Pull! Yeah! Hit! Pull! Pull! Ha! Ha! Hit! Ha! Hit! Yeah! Hit! Ha! Ha! Round two. Go. Hit. Ha ha. Yeah. Hit. Hit. Yeah. Hit. Ha ha. Ha ha. Hit. Ha ha. Hit. Ha ha. Yeah. Pull! 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 Yeah. Ha ha! Time over. Round three. Go! Ha ha! Ha ha! Yeah. Ha ha! Yeah. Ha ha! Ha ha! Hit! Hit! Ha! Hit! Pull! Hit! 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 Yeah! Ha! Hit! Pull! Hit! Yeah! Can win!
Huh? F1 Challenge. My good friend Cliff Libby sent me this game a few years back, and I'd like to say thank you again. Now, this game doesn't have all the licenses as you would expect because it's more of an arcade F1 game, so it does have certain drivers and licenses, but not all of them. Fire, Storm, Thunderhawk, which is a part of the Thunderhawk series, also on Mega CD. Fighter Mega Mix, Golden Axe the Duel, which is kind of like Street Fighter in certain ways, and if you play it like Street Fighter, you'll probably get a lot further in the game. Guardian Heroes, what can I say? This game is phenomenal.
So let's take a look.
multiple bosses, multiple endings, a lot of fun. The Grid, Jex, 3D, and he's a gecko. Galaxy Attack, great 2D shoot 'em up. Hexen. Now Hexen also is a Metrovania style game, but unfortunately it's bloody confusing, finding backtracking and forth to find keys. When you open the door in one area, not necessarily is it in front of you the door you have to go through. It could be in another complete area. So a lot of backtracking on that game, a bit too much. High Glide, very terrible first person adventure game. Hardcore 4x4. Hang On GP, played better with the Sega Saturn race wheel. High Octane, terrible game. Johnny Bazooka-Tone, a lot of fun music game with this platforming. Here's a game I bought off my friend. Well, I didn't buy the artwork. I bought the disc and manual, but I had to produce the artwork because sadly it was missing. So I'm still looking for an artwork on that one. Loaded. We didn't get the Reloaded that came on PlayStation, although there's a demo of it and it doesn't run particularly well. Last Bronx, a great 3D fighter, uses the engine very well.
So we have to take a look at that. It's an amazing game.
Last Bronx. Round 1. Fight! Hit the door! Round 2. Fight! Hit the zone! Round 1. Fight! Round 2. Fight! 今夜は飛ばすぜ
Lost Vikings, Marvel, a great 2D fighter. Manx TT, which was available in the arcade, and you could ride sheep in the arcade. You can hare, it is encoded into the game, but trying to sort of veer that this was a short play in the arcade, so it's very limited to how long you can play. So the track's about 2 to 3 minutes. It did sort of throw in mirror mode and reverse mode and a few others, but that doesn't extend the life of the game, unfortunately. Mortal Kombat 2 and 3.
Sadly, I don't have the trilogy one, but one day, it's just that it's very, very expensive.
Mass Destruction. A great game, really fun. Nights into Dreams. And there is a pad for it, as you can see here, as a controller. Does improve the game somewhat. It's good to have early documents of a thumbstick. Night Warrior, really solid title. NASCAR series, and these were fun and the tracks were fun, but again, a lot of pop-up in these games, unfortunately. Need for Speed, Track and Road, and then there's the Panzer series 1 and 2, Panzer Dragoon.
Let's take a look at Panzer Dragoon 2.
Laxenia Curial Profeb Mester Fromos Fegos Tistanar Da Pascal Fegos
Bukan Laxenia Genem
Yotier Anus Laxenia Genem Geskel de Zadike Dan Ducati Loki After the Dubaras Dezen Merks Kai Watanabe Pascal Bon De on to Lagma Ducati Dan De Keskete No Enfas Eva
Deanes Mecania. Dena. Oni Paladinor Naus. Dena. Naus.
ます。
Pandemonium, a great game. Solid title. In case anyone's wondering, you can actually run these modern consoles through an HDMI. They do actually make one for the Saturn, and they do improve the picture somewhat. Not completely, but somewhat. Excuse the squeaky old floorboards in this property. Pro Pinball. There's an interesting one. Pinball Graffiti. So this is a story-based pinball game, which is just bizarre. And here's the game I was talking about, Quake. This game does not hold up well, unfortunately. It was, I mean, everybody wanted back in the day Quake because it was a great game. But there's multiple ports out there. There is an N64 port that I have, one and two. But this one does not look great on a modern TV. That's that early 3D I was telling you about that doesn't hold up well. Robotica, set in space. It's a Doom clone. Let's take a look at that as well.
In the year 2077, the regional nation-state that had until then helped maintain world order on Earth collapsed, and in its wake, a planetary government emerged to rule over mankind. To resolve the disputes, riots, and struggles that periodically erupted around the globe, WSSS was formed, separate from regular government organizations. A core system for planetary control was established, not on Earth, but in space. It was referred to as the WSSS Central Control Fortress, Daedalus. After Daedalus was established, mankind lived in peace for 800 years. The global state system had been designed to unify mankind, but eventually, all those who could explain the original reason for its existence had disappeared. People's views of it now began to change. Some started to worship Daedalus. Others began to protest the notion of living under the restrictions of what they saw as an increasingly archaic system. Clashes began to occur with increasing frequency between these two groups, with Daedalus repeatedly trying to suppress them. surface, these were but minor conflicts. Underground terrorists from the reformist faction were arming and steadily growing in strength. Their first operation will be an attempt to destroy Daedalus itself.
Resident Evil, a really good, solid horror game for its time. We didn't get the second one. I think the Saturn probably could have handled the second one, but we're never going to get it, were we? Rayman, a great 2D platformer. And Sega Rally. I cannot tell you how many hours I've put into this. So many hours of gameplay. I also tried with touring cars, but unfortunately the handling is so bad. You have to do so much tweaking to get the cars to stay on the road. Cool Spot. Sky Target. A great game. Super Puzzle Fighter. Again, a lot of fun. Sky Target is very arcadey. Soviet Strike. Shell Shock. Here's a game that is a lot of fun for a tank game with some really funky music, and I mean really funky music. Yeah, there's a lot of fun there. So there's Street Fighter, a fantastic 2D fighting game. There's multiple on them, and I've got the first and second games. I don't have the collection, unfortunately. Wish I did. Sega Ages, with games like Afterburner, Space Harrier and Outrun. Street Racer. And here's an absolutely brilliant title. A 2D hack and slash from the Shinobi series, and it's called Shinobi X. Great music. I think the Americans got slightly duped with the soundtrack because they was pulled from the Japanese one, and the UK one was a lot better. If you're wondering why at the top here, excuse me, these little Sega Saturn sort of printed boxes, these are actually demo discs, as you can see. So yes, I've got quite a few on there, and it's just a great way of storing them. So yeah, that's what they are. I mean, just don't like them loose all over the place, unfortunately. Tetris, True Pinball, Tilt. A really early adopter to the genre, Tomb Raider, and Court done an amazing job there for an early title. Tempest 2000, a real good solid game. And then we go into rest like Sonic R, Sonic 3D. Yeah, great. They should actually be over there. I don't know why they're mixed up in the wrong order. Virtual On and Virtual Fighter. Really good, solid game.
Fight! 1, ready, go!
I don't make it a habit to fight the elderly.
Fight! 2, ready, go!
I don't make it a habit to fight the elderly.
Fight! 1, ready, go!
ready to go home now?
Fight! 2, ready, go!
I don't make it a habit to fight the elderly.
Special Fighter Kids. Wipeout series. Not as bad as people make out. I mean, they're okay. They're solid enough. I mean, the PlayStation 1 does play a little bit better, but, you know, for its period of time. And then ending with no, someone told me that was a great game, and they lied, unfortunately. And then there's the Virtual Fighter remix there. So that's just a quick look at my Saturn games so far. There's going to be more collected, but at this point I'm happy with what I've got. Yeah, so that's a few.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It will help the channel grow, and it is appreciated, and I'll do my best to improve the videos, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.